Shameless. United in the Europa League. Europa League. Me tell them one time and we say Europa
Omonia
League.
2, Manchester United 3. Another victory for Manchester United in the Europa League for Erik ten Hag. The second victory for Erik ten Hag in the Europa League after the win against Sheriff out last time. That game did not need to be as dramatic as it ended up being. I think this is the side, Omonia, that every other team when they've played has done very well against. And you have to give them credit. They made it difficult for Manchester United, hostile atmosphere, but make no mistake, Manchester United, particularly the side that was selected by Erik ten Hag tonight, should be beating that side. And we made it really difficult for ourselves. You know, we started the game okay. We knew what they were going to do, low block, and it's actually an interesting test for Manchester United because there are going to be games this season where the sides are going to be standing back off and they are going to invite us to create something and we are going to have a lot of possession. We can't always play on the counter-attack. That's fine. And I thought for the majority of the first half, we played okay. We made chances. We should have taken our chances, and I said it on the match show, I just had a feeling in the pit of my stomach that when you have, 9 shots on target or 9 shots overall, that if you don't take them, if you're missing gilt-edged chances where you're not squaring the ball to an open net or you're not taking a shot, whatever it was, then it's going to bite you. And that's exactly what happened to us. It was a pass by Sancho to Malacia. Malacia gets caught out. It's a counter-attack again for Manchester United. And it's a goal conceded. And then suddenly halftime actually came at a good point for us, which is, wow, this is the Europa League. This is Thursday. This is Omonia. And for 10 minutes after they scored, because they scored in the 35th minute, for 10 minutes, we were absolutely rattled. Absolutely rattled. Now, they might not have created much after that for those 10 minutes, but we created nothing. We were poor. We didn't do anything after that. Halftime came at the right time. Martial eventually gets brought on. Rashford gets brought on. Changed the game like that. They're players that are in form. Whilst Martial hasn't actually started a game this season, his quality, it's there to be seen. Every single time Martial has came on this season, in these cameo roles, he scored or he's got an assist. He has affected the game. Against Liverpool, came on, got an assist. At the weekend, came on, got 2 goals. Today, came on, scored immediately. That's what he does. And you can see why Erik ten Hag is so desperate for him to remain fit, why he's so desperate to get him into that side, and why ultimately he's the number 9. The turnaround for Martial is incredible. This was a guy that was half out of the club. He went on loan to Sevilla last season. If that went well, he wouldn't be a Manchester United player at this point. The turnaround is unbelievable. Granted, fitness issues are still there and he's still building up his fitness, and the hope is that he can maintain this fitness now going forward. But we've got a player here that's in form, scoring goals and getting assists. And speaking of goals and assists, Marcus Rashford. Rashford came on and did everything that Jadon Sancho didn't do in the first half. I thought, again, Sancho looked flat. I think that we know that Sancho isn't the type of player to take a player on, and Rashford's just the complete opposite. And I think if I was Jadon Sancho now, my concern would be, well, wait a minute. If Martial's fit and raring to go, he's going to be the striker. Marcus Rashford's playing off the left. He's getting goals. He's getting assists. Sancho's got a couple of goals and assists this season, but Rashford's just affecting the game more. He's got pace. He's got energy. And especially on the other side with Antony, whereby we know he can take on players, but we don't know at the moment if he's got that pace to really, truly beat a player, a fullback, just by raw pace. Rashford's got that. Rashford looks dangerous. So I think if I'm Sancho at this point, I'm looking over my shoulder. Now, I can't talk about the front three without talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. I have to talk about him because everyone's going to be talking about him. Frankly, I'm a little bit tired talking about Cristiano Ronaldo because look at the scenarios. We always talk about Ronaldo after the game. If he plays like today, we talk about Ronaldo. If he comes on as a sub, we talk about Ronaldo. If, like at the weekend, he doesn't come on, who do we talk about? Cristiano Ronaldo, or certainly the media does. And particularly towards the end of the game, we were forcing it. We were accommodating him. We were trying our best to get Ronaldo a goal, which is fine if you're 4-0 up, 5-0 up, or it's pre-season, or let's just get a goal for Ronaldo. But it wasn't. It was 3-2. There was a point there where Rashford tries to square it to Ronaldo, and he shouldn't. He should take a shot. And that could have come back to bite us in the end. Luckily, it didn't. And I understand what Ten Hag said at the weekend when he said he didn't bring on Cristiano Ronaldo out of respect for his career in that Manchester derby when we were 4-0 down. But he also said he wanted to get minutes into Martial's legs. That's fine. That's fair. But Cristiano Ronaldo did not give a good enough performance tonight, or did not give Erik ten Hag a reason to select him in the starting lineup at Everton on Sunday. He was never going to play anyway, I don't think. But certainly now, you don't come out of that game going, Ronaldo has to start. You come out of the game going, I tell you what, Rashford, Martial, they have to start. And that's the difference. And the thing is, when you talk about Ronaldo, you have to preface it by saying what he's achieved in his career, what he's done, what he's won, the goals he scored, even for us last season. That doesn't go away. But right now, objectively, he should not be in the starting 11. He shouldn't. And frankly, depending on how the game's going on Sunday, he might not, maybe he doesn't deserve to come on the weekend anyway, too. The Ronaldo conversation is just getting aggravating at this point, honestly. And I'm sure it will continue on. But these are the games he's going to be playing. This is a guy that hasn't had pre-season. And I guess maybe he's still building his fitness up. He isn't going to get match rhythm because he isn't going to be playing every single game either. And we saw a guy in Martial who he's on form at the moment. He's affecting the game. And I know the response will be, what, you're saying Martial is better than Cristiano Ronaldo? Right now, yeah. the evidence there, the facts are there. Now, other positions that aren't Cristiano Ronaldo, Casemiro started this evening. And I think this is the beginning of him getting his spot in the side. Did he play well? He was okay. To be honest, I actually think it's one of his better performances he's had for Manchester United. I know they've largely been substitute appearances. I know that the only other game he started was against Real Sociedad in the Europa League. This evening, I think in the first half, we saw him make some quite tidy passes. Yes, he gave the ball away on a couple of occasions, but I think now this is the beginning, as I mentioned, of him starting to come into the side over McTominay. But I also wouldn't rule out games where both McTominay and Casemiro start, or Casemiro and Fred starts, because given how leaky we are at the moment, given how fragile we are, especially on the counter-attack, we can see the counter-attack goals again. We probably need more steel in that midfield, honestly. It was a game at the weekend against City. A possession side scored 3 counter-attacking goals against us. Tonight, a side playing a low block scored 2 counter-attacking goals against us again. We're vulnerable. We're really vulnerable to the counter-attack. And how we resolve that, I'm not sure. Whether it is Erik ten Hag putting Casemiro and McTominay in there, or putting Casemiro and Fred in there. But who do you sacrifice? That's the question for the manager. I think in terms of the back four, Lindelof looked rusty at points. I don't know, again, if that's a lack of game time or he's been returning from injury too. Malacia continued his poor performance from the weekend, and now I think Luke Shaw isn't going to, I wouldn't say Shaw's going to start over Malacia at the weekend, but suddenly that race looks a bit closer and there's competition on that left-hand side, and that's not a bad thing. You saw in the second half, that relationship that Shaw and Rashford have can be very, very deadly for Manchester United. So again, it's a conversation for Erik ten Hag to have with his backroom staff to figure out who he's going to select, particularly on that left-hand side. But overall, I expected a reaction from United from the weekend, and realistically, we didn't get it. It was the same performance. It was the same performance that we had at the Etihad. Had we been playing a good side, had we been playing a top side like City, it'd have been the same result as it was at the weekend. We weren't very good tonight. We got away with it largely because we've got good players and we're playing a poor side. But my concern still is that fragility that is clearly there for Manchester United. That fragility, that lack of aggression at times, the reliance on people like Rashford and Martial, and suddenly then you see players of energy and you go, oh, that's what we can be. So clearly Ten Hag's still figuring out what his best side is, what his best system is. But ultimately what matters, and what we'll only remember in a couple of weeks' time, is the 3 points. So we're second in the group now. The big game is when we play Sociedad. We've got to play Omonia again, and then Sheriff. And obviously, I think it's going to come down to that Sociedad game. But we move on and we focus on Everton at the weekend. And the games continue coming thick and fast.